Hey, what's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Scares. That's right, we're moving right along in our October journey through the nightmares with the second film featuring Hannibal the Cannibal and potentially the most well-known and popular film out of the entire bunch. It's The Silence of the Lambs. The Silence of the Lambs focuses on FBI agent Clarice Sterling as she is tasked on consulting with Dr. Hannibal Lecter in prison for a psychological evaluation on a brand new serial killer going by the name of Buffalo Bill, and he agrees to help her out with a little bit of quid pro quo. So, as you know, the last film featuring Hannibal, which was Manhunter, didn't really impress me all that much when it came down to Hannibal the character. It was a fine mystery, and the film itself was made well enough, but it didn't have the soul that I wanted to see from it. And that didn't pop up until now with The Silence of the Lambs, which is one of the best psychological thrillers ever made, which is almost entirely thanks to Anthony Hopkins in his most polarizing performance of his career. And sure, it's easy enough to just say that because everybody else does, but what strikes me as the most captivating aspect of his character here is simply the fact that he is behind bars. He's in prison, yet he's in absolute control of everything. He's maniacal, conniving, manipulative, and one of the best love-to-hate villains in cinematic history. Look at it this way. Jodie Foster as Clarice is fantastic. When she's out there on her own in the field investigating the Buffalo Bill case, she's a powerhouse agent, and she's figuring out things left and right that the FBI couldn't do. But when she's sitting across from Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal, suddenly she's the smallest person in the room, and he's in absolute systematic control over her. And it's not only her that he's controlling the system, he's controlling other prisoners and making them kill themselves just by whispering something into their ear. And I even argue that he's in prison because he wants to be in prison, and he could leave at any point. He's insanely good as this character, and nobody has ever played it half as well as he has. The mystery of this film is also an incredibly iconic one. Not that Manhunter wasn't, the Tooth Fairy was definitely an interesting case, and I look forward to watching it again in the upcoming film Red Dragon. But the Buffalo Bill mystery, with Ted Levine in the role, is absolutely insanity at its best, and he plays it perfectly. I do have one gripe with this character though, and it's nothing that really affected my scoring spreadsheet, but it is worth noting that a part of his character doesn't really fit today's standards for film. There's arguments to be made here that he's a terrible representative of the LGBTQ community, as it seems to be suggesting that he's transgendered, and it's his confusion with his identity that has led him to be this evil thing. And the actor has even come forward and said, that's not the case, that's not how he envisioned the character, and whatever. But even so, it's incredibly hard not to take notice of that, even if you're mistakenly seeing it that way. Same can kind of be said about Ace Ventura, but because that wasn't the intention, I am giving it a little bit of slack because it still performed incredibly well and is unquestionably iconic. But honestly, that one negative is probably the only thing that I have to say here that isn't praise. The rest of the film is phenomenal. The acting, the casting, the dialogue, even some of the music choices, the cinematography, the wardrobe, everything is nearly perfect. So my technical score is going to be basically reflecting that at 96%. My bias score, on the other hand, is a perfect score because there's little to nothing to complain about here. Instead, it's a film that I feel like allows people to ponder some deeper questions. This score is 100%, and when we average out the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 98%. 98 out of 100 possible stars, or the final letter grade of A+. What about you guys, though? Are you a fan of Anthony Hopkins' first appearance as Hannibal Lecter? Let me know in the comment section down below, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie.